7 years of therapy, self-help gurus, retreats, a bitter laugh, and I'm still here, empty, like a gilded cage, you know. Success on the outside, a wasteland within. You think you're healing, but you're just patching over the cracks. Jung called it the shadow, the part of you that refuses to be seen, the monster you keep locked in the basement of your soul. This isn't about fixing yourself. It's about facing the darkness, the raw, bleeding wounds you've been running from. Because until you confront that inner dragon, until you integrate the darkness, you'll forever be a knight battling phantoms, destined for perpetual war. I'll show you how to turn the chaos into power if you're ready to see. So you think you've cracked the code, huh? 7 years, countless workshops, a library of self-help books taller than you, and you're still staring into the abyss. A bitter chuckle escapes me. It's a common story, isn't it? The gilded cage of superficial success. You're winning the game, but you're playing the wrong game entirely. It's like that guy I met in Austin, 68 years old, retired CEO, multimillionaire. Every success metric screamed triumph, yet he sat across from me, a haunted look in his eyes, whispering about emptiness that swallowed him whole. He'd conquered the external dragons, financial success, social status, even a seemingly happy family, but the monster within, the true beast of his shadow, remained untouched, unacknowledged. And it was starving. He wasn't healing. He was meticulously building a prison of perfection, brick by brick. Jung understood this perverse dynamic better than anyone. He saw how the relentless pursuit of external validation, the endless striving for self-improvement, becomes a perverse distraction from the real work, facing the darkness within. It's a trap, a vicious cycle, a cruel irony that our very attempts to heal often perpetuate the wounds. That man in Austin. He wasn't ready to confront his inner demons. Until we wrestle the shadow into the light, until we meet the monster face to face, we'll remain prisoners of our own making, eternally chasing the ghost of wholeness. This isn't about fixing the cracks, it's about dismantling the entire damn facade and building something real in its place. That gilded cage, it's a clever illusion. You think you're building a life, a fortress of success, but you're really just reinforcing the walls of your prison. The old CEO in Austin, he wasn't alone. I saw it again in a 70-year-old architect in Denver, a man whose buildings scraped the sky yet whose heart remained a cramped, shadowed attic. He'd spent his life crafting perfect designs, ignoring the cracks in his own foundation. This isn't about fixing the cracks, it's about acknowledging the earthquake that caused them. Jung called it the shadow, the unconscious, the rejected parts of ourselves, the monsters we lock away. It's not some dark entity to be eradicated, it's the untamed land that holds the key to true integration. We chase external validation, the perfect job, the perfect body, the perfect relationship, believing it will fill the void. It never does. Why? Because the void isn't a lack of something external, it's a reflection of the unacknowledged wounds within. It's the gaping maw of the shadow, demanding attention, screaming for integration. The self-help industry, with its promises of quick fixes and superficial transformations, is often just another way to avoid this confrontation. It's a sophisticated form of denial, a way to keep the monster safely locked away, but at a terrible cost. Imagine a knight forever battling dragons. He slays one beast after another, wins every external battle, but he's ignoring the dragon sleeping in his own chest, the dragon that feasts on self-doubt and unresolved trauma. He's a perpetual warrior, never at peace, his victories hollow. Because victory without inner peace is meaningless. That's the predicament of many men, aren't we? A knight eternally fighting shadows that never really die. This inner dragon isn't evil. It's the raw, unprocessed energy of your unlived life, your suppressed emotions, your buried trauma. It's the manifestation of everything you've refused to see, everything you've tried to outrun, and it's stronger than any external adversary you'll ever face. This isn't about escaping the darkness, it's about integrating it, understanding it, befriending it. And that, my friend, is where true power lies. You see, the darkness isn't your enemy, it's a part of you that needs healing, not eradication. It's the wounded warrior's journey, a path not of self-improvement, but of self-acceptance. A path that starts by acknowledging that you are not the perfect knight. You are the wounded warrior, and the dragon within is not your adversary, but your guide, if you only have the courage to listen. The next step, the terrifying and beautiful leap, is to unveil the true nature of the shadows in your soul. This involves exploring the anima and animus, the feminine and masculine archetypes within you, which are often at war, creating more internal conflict. It's like navigating a labyrinth of your own making, dark, twisting, and dangerous. But ultimately the way through is the way to yourself. That labyrinth, it's a map of your own psyche, isn't it? And the minotaur at the center, That's the wounded child, the abandoned part of you still screaming for recognition. I remember Sarah, a woman in her late 60s, a successful lawyer in Boston. She had it all, the corner office, the impressive accolades, the perfect family. Yet she felt hollow. Empty, a success that tasted like ash. She spent years chasing external validation, believing that more achievements would fill the void. More cases won, more awards earned, a bigger house, a newer car. It just kept getting deeper. Because the emptiness wasn't caused by external lack, it was a gaping wound within, a deep chasm of unmet needs and unresolved trauma she'd kept buried under decades of professional achievement. Jung calls it the anima and animus, the feminine and masculine principles within us, often locked in a bitter war. Think of it as an internal tug-of-war, a constant battle between your shadow self and what you consciously present to the world. For Sarah, it manifested in a deep-seated fear of vulnerability, a constant need to control and perform which drove away the very intimacy she craved. She built her impressive career as a shield, a fortress against a deeper hurt. It wasn't working. In fact, it was compounding the problem. It was a desperate attempt to heal by ignoring the wound. She projected her inner conflict onto her relationships, demanding perfection, pushing others away, then blaming them for her unhappiness. It's a cruel cycle, isn't it? The relentless pursuit of a happiness built on the shifting sands of external validation, a happiness doomed to crumble under the weight of its own instability. You think you're battling external dragons, but you're really just fighting reflections of yourself, distorted, magnified, and monstrous. You're running from the very thing you need to face. It's a lonely, exhausting, and ultimately pointless war. It's a paradox, isn't it? The self-help industry feeds off our insecurities, promising a shortcut to happiness, yet the relentless pursuit of self-improvement often perpetuates the very emptiness it seeks to alleviate. You're chasing the shadow of your wholeness, never quite catching up. Sarah's story, and countless others I've encountered, reveals a fundamental truth. True integration, true healing, doesn't come from fixing what you see in the mirror. It comes from staring into the abyss, embracing the monster, and integrating your darkness into the fabric of your being. It's not about eliminating the shadows, but about learning to dance with them. It's about understanding the dance between your anima and animus, those powerful, often warring archetypes within. Because until you reconcile those inner conflicts, until you understand the source of your deep-seated wounds, the true battle for your soul begins, and the war will never end. That's the thing about those inner battles. They're often reflections of a deeper war, a silent conflict raging beneath the surface of your carefully constructed persona. You think you're fighting external demons, but you're really just projecting your own inner shadows onto the world. Jung called it the persona, that mask we wear to navigate society's expectations, the role we play to gain acceptance. And God, how desperately we crave that acceptance, don't we? But it's a prison, a gilded cage that keeps us from truly knowing ourselves. Think about it. How much of your life is dictated by what others expect, what others want you to be? How much of your success is fueled by a need to prove yourself, to fill that gnawing void within? A friend of mine, a 72-year-old architect in Chicago, spent his whole life building empires of concrete and steel, only to realize his greatest masterpiece was the prison he'd built for his own soul. He was lauded, envied, even admired, yet he sat there, tears welling, whispering about a life lived for the approval of ghosts. The persona, in its desperate pursuit of validation, becomes the very thing that obstructs true connection with yourself and with others. It's a subtle deception, a masterpiece of self-deception, really, and the cost. A life lived half-heartedly, perpetually chasing a mirage of wholeness. It's not about fixing the persona, it's about dismantling it brick by agonizing brick, revealing the raw, imperfect, undeniably beautiful self beneath. Because the authentic self is not the finished product, it's the ongoing journey of individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, not who you think you should be. So the wounded warrior, he's not defined by his scars, is he? He's defined by how he carries them, by how he integrates that pain, that raw, brutal history into the very fabric of his being. Think about it. The myth of the hero, the knight slaying dragons, it's a beautiful lie, or rather half a truth, because the true hero's journey isn't just about conquering external monsters, it's about facing the monster within and making peace with it, integrating it. It's not about erasing the wounds, but understanding them, honoring them, as evidence of a battle fought, a life lived. And honestly, I've been surprised at how much beauty I found in the darkness. It's a shift in perspective, you see. You think you're broken, damaged goods, but you're not. You were never broken. You were simply untaught. Untaught the truth of your own inherent strength. Untaught the power that lies in embracing your full self, shadows and all. They told you to fix yourself, to be better, to overcome. They never told you to accept, to integrate, to become whole. A long silence hangs in the air. The self-help gurus, the therapists, they offer bandages, not cures. They address symptoms, not the disease. They want to fix the cracks in your gilded cage instead of helping you shatter the cage itself. And that's the crucial difference. Because true freedom doesn't come from fixing what's broken, it comes from accepting what is. From recognizing the raw, messy, imperfect beauty of your own unique experience. From accepting the totality of your being, the light and the shadow. It's like a phoenix rising from the ashes, not by escaping the fire, but by embracing it, transforming it into the very essence of its power. This isn't about achieving some idealized version of yourself. It's about becoming authentically you, flaws, scars, and all. It's about seeing the darkness not as an enemy to be conquered, but as a source of profound strength. Because those scars, they tell a story of resilience, of courage, of survival. They're a testament to your capacity to endure, to grow, to evolve. They're not marks of failure. They are marks of triumph. The choice is yours. You can continue to chase the illusion of perfection, to patch over the cracks in your self-constructed prison. Or you can choose to embrace the darkness, to integrate the shadow, to become the warrior who emerges from the depths of his own suffering, stronger, wiser, and profoundly more alive. The choice is yours, and the path is paved with the scars of your past. Now they are no longer a symbol of your wound, but a map towards the uncharted territories of your soul's deepest power.